All right, so we're welcoming Kell Phelps with MBBQA Barbecue and also the Barbecue Newsletter. Kell, what's going on, brother?
Barbecue News Magazine.
Yeah.
Man, hey, just living the dream, baby, here in Kansas City, American Royal. Don't get much better than this, man. I mean, I've been up here and froze my tail off and burned up, but this is about perfect. Perfect today.
It is perfect
Beautiful.
weather.
So you have so much more experience in this environment than we do. Give us kind of a rundown of what's going on here at American Royale.
Man, so the American Royal, 40-some years into this thing, is it's grown into the world's biggest barbecue competition. I mean, they call it the World Series of Barbecue, but, you know, Texas has got the Houston Livestock Show, you know, that holds about 300 teams. Memphis in May will hold about 300 teams, but this bad boy right here is hosting about 550 teams this weekend, and they got two contests. You got an invitational. So basically, they sanction with the Kansas City Barbecue Society, and the invitational is set up for their state champions. So if you host a state championship contest, the winner of that event gets a bid here and gets a shot to come and cook the invitational.
Okay.
Now the open is open to anybody, and that's Sunday. Of course, tomorrow will be Saturday, and that's when the invitational will be happening. So it's cool, man. I mean, last night they actually now host a state cook-off. Operation Barbecue Relief, which is in action as we speaking now, man. They're headed down to Florida to help out some of that mess and feed some folks. Big fundraiser for them happens every year. It's called Hog Palooza. Mm-hmm. Here in just a little bit, I get to go be a judge and eat probably 10 of the best hogs in the world being cooked today.
We've seen some of, so we got, as you mentioned before, we've gotten kind of a sneak preview last night to see some of the rigs and see some of we saw the Sheds Barbecue and the how they're positioning these hogs, and what is the terminology that they call it, where they're like standing the hogs up?
Yeah, running. So they call them a running hog.
Running hog. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And they're, I think they fabricated and welded up a motorcycle.
Yeah.
To where this hog just sits on there.
Hog on a hog.
Yeah.
That's right. So the Shed, man, and oh man, this goes back before they won their first world championship. Brad Orson has always been one that thinks outside the box. And in the barbecue competition world, that is so good, because being different, it's either going to cut your throat or it's going to take you straight to the top. Mm-hmm. So he built this apparatus called the Robo Hog, and it's actually a metal device all welded up that the hog actually sits on, so he can make that hog look like it's running, but inside of it, it's got trays and compartments and all this stuff. So he stuffs it full of peppers, onions, you know, apple juice and all such as that. But he can actually refill that thing with juice during the cooking process to make sure that moisture stays in the hog.
Making
That's
me
amazing.
so hungry.
And when he told me this, man, and I told him, I said, Brad, man, I said, I love you. And I said, but, man, there ain't nobody won a hog contest, you know, cooking one in that running position in a long time. And he took a lot of offense to that, because we were already about 2 12-packs into it that evening. So he was like, well, let me tell you, I'm going to show you. And I was like, so I went up to him the year after he won the world championship. I said, dude, I apologize. I said, I was dead wrong. I said, you know, not that I just had never seen anything like that. But to see them guys jump out of the box like that, man, that was cool. Now there's a bunch of teams making their own Robo Hogs,
Right.
like knockoffs. So
Like anything else, if you see somebody win doing something, it's gonna catch on.
that's it, you know, and that's what's so different today. And you guys, we got to hang out a little bit earlier, so you guys got to see some people talking about what they do, how they do it, why they do it. Man, 25 years ago when we started, you know, if you were hitting in the top 10 with something, you were like locked lip, brother. You didn't want nobody to know what you had in that, and it wasn't in a trailer. Everybody come with pop-up tents in the back of a truck or whatever. Now everybody gets inside their trailers, and you don't see them near as much as what you used to. But yeah, I mean, there was tote bins and coolers stacked up, and people have crap hid all in there. You don't want everybody to see their secret. But
Yeah.
it's changed so much.
We talked about before how, wrapping tape around your seasoning so nobody can see, what you're using.
Oh yeah, right. Yep.
Yeah, I'm a big proponent of people put stuff out on social media, and sometimes they forget to cover up the background, and I'm zooming into pictures, and I'm like, I know what that is. You can't fool me, even though you got a little piece of tape around it. I know what you're using right there.
That's Blues Hog.
That's Blues Hog. Yeah. Of course, I'm sure everybody uses Blues Hog out here.
Right.
Man, I'm gonna tell you what. If Blues Hog had a penny for every championship they had won in the barbecue world,
Be a lot of pennies.
it'd be a lot more than Shaking and Bacon is the name of their barbecue team. It'd be a lot more Shaking and Bacon going on for sure. But
That was awesome.
indeed, great recipe, man. The guy that made that thing out of Tennessee just passed not long ago, man. But he had, oh my gosh, when he first started, man, I mean, people were going nuts, and he was just a single sauce guy, I mean, that's all he did was the one sauce, and he just carried it around and let people try it, and then people started hitting with it, and he couldn't keep up with it, man. I mean, he just he couldn't keep up with what he was doing, so making it in his kitchen. So he finally started finding a co-packer and getting it done. But yeah, Bill Arnold, he's in the Hall of Fame, man. He should have been in the Hall of Fame here before he passed, but he went in last year after he passed. But yeah, he created a monster with that thing.
That's amazing.
Absolutely. So you're out here with the Barbecue News Magazine and the NBBQA. What is it that you guys just spreading the word? What are we doing out here?
Man, we are shaking hands, kissing babies,
Shooting the shit with everybody.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
We were talking about that earlier, talking about shooting the shit, and I'm like, where did that terminology come from? Like, was there literally somebody out there just like in the pasture, like shooting fucking cow patties or something like that? Or
Pastime.
Right? Yeah. And Kell was talking about they used to roll around back in the day, and what was it called?
Yeah, it's called going egging.
Going
Go
egging.
Yeah. So our friends would pile us all up, and the drunk ones would be in the back of the pickup truck, 50 miles an hour going down the dirt road. Not the dirt road, but just the old county road, throwing eggs out, see how many mailboxes we could hit. So we get 6, and then your buddy gets 6, and so
we used to do the whole baseball bat, just going, rolling down there until you get a hold of one that somebody's like got a cement post, and you stop doing that.
You might want to cut that out. That's a felony.
Right.
That was a long time ago.
That was about 20 years, 25. I think there's a statute of limitations
Yeah.
that they can come back with.
That was 87 years ago.
Right. Exactly. So awesome. So Barbecue News Magazine, also with the NBBQA. What is on the horizon with you guys?
Oh my gosh, man, we've been so busy this summer trying to revamp and just get things straight with the membership as far as who's past member, who's present member with NBBQA, and just going through the data of what's there. 30 years, worth of stuff. Some of it is, very outdated or whatever, but for us, every bit of it's useful. So we've tried to figure out a way to use all of it, and we've about got it figured out. So now moving forward, man, we're just trying to become the actual barbecue.
Hello.
Is he selling popcorn or beer or what?
I think I heard tortillas.
I heard tortillas.
Homemade tortillas.
I'll be right back. I'm going to go get a tortilla.
We might have to test that.
But so no, we're just trying to become the trade association of barbecue industry, because as far as NBBQA is concerned, there's a lot of different organizations, groups, competitions, or judge organizations or whatever. But with NBBQA, it's the most diverse group in the world, because you've got manufacturers, you've got rub makers, sauce makers, you've got guys who are competition guys, you got restaurant guys, catering guys.
Yeah, we've talked about this before in the past. I mean, barbecue right now as a sport has grown so big and so quickly over the last few years that I think there's a lot of people out there that is slowly that they're slow to catch up. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And now I think you're starting to see people realize, like, holy crap, this is obviously like $1 billion industry. Once you start wrapping your head around it, between the seasonings and the sauces and the competitions and the charities and the fundraising and all that stuff like that, man, it's awesome, and it's great to be a part of it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and I'm gonna just tell you, man. There's no. Now, when you walk into a store and you look at the number of rubs, the number of sauces, different charcoals. Used to, you had one charcoal, you might have 2 sauces and maybe 2 or 3 rubs, and that's
Right.
it. Now, man, some of you guys in Texas, some of your Ace stores that we out in Fort Worth, man, their barbecue side of things is as big as my whole Ace store back home. I mean, it's crazy and how it's blowed up, and a lot of those guys are successful, so it's not fixing to stop, because when some of the 20, 30-year-olds started cooking during the pandemic, learned to cook, man, now they're getting ready for their second, third grill. They're learning to do something a little different and take it to another level. So now they're looking at competitions, starting with the SCA. I think they're going to have 550, almost 600 events over the year. And they're in Europe now. Australia hopefully will start back again and hosting events. They're real big over there too. So it's crazy, man.
Yeah.
And it's smoking. It's not fixing to stop for sure.
Now, do you have anything new coming up for the next NBBQA convention?
New convention is slated for Orlando, February 15th to the 18th. And yeah, man, we've got some pretty cool stuff. We always we'll kick it off with a bus tour, chance for folks who want to go eat at several different joints in the Orlando area, jump on a bus and hit 4 of them in an afternoon. And try samples, but the biggest thing is you get to see behind the house. You get to see how they run lines and what they do and how they do it. But
That's awesome.
so we'll do that Wednesday night. We'll have almost a culinary fight type deal. We're calling it a smoke fight. It's Craig Carter. So Craig Carter's the fella from here in Kansas City who actually organizes the Hog Palooza deal, the steak cook-off we were at last night. But he's a big catering guy from here in Kansas City, but he's going to head that up for us, and should be a magnificent party. Be a cool kickoff, and golly, we've got so many cool things happening. Looking now at keynote speaker, I won't go out because we don't have a contract with him yet, but he's a very well-known guy. He's going to talk a little bit about the history of barbecue, and then we'll have probably 15, 16 educational sessions on Thursday and Friday. And then Friday night, we'll bring back the rhinestone cowboy hat cook-off. It's kind of an all-star type deal for MBBQAs, where all the big guys you see on TV and, he's got book deals and all that stuff. They all get together and do a steak cook-off, and
Nice.
they get a rhinestone cowboy hat, believe it or not.
That's awesome.
That
That's
sounds
pretty
amazing.
cool.
If you
That's
need a
pretty
judge
cool.
for that, I'm probably be available Friday night. I think I have Friday evening off. So
Right. If you need a
you have my number.
competitor, maybe
It's
I'd like
fine.
to try to win that hat.
And then there'll be a Saturday, will be a double SCA event for competitors, and then open it up for the public to come to master barbecue classes. So we just inked a deal just a few minutes ago with Tuffy Stone. He'll be there. Melissa Cookston will be there teaching, doing a couple classes, and man, I'm telling you, these guys are so knowledgeable. When we talk about sharing, that's what MBBQA is all about. It's taking somebody who is new, or they don't know, they're transitioning from maybe a competition to a caterer, or trying to maybe think about a restaurant. We want to plug you into somebody who's already been there and done that, and that's what our job is with MBBQA. And we've laughed about being the cheerleaders, the Saturday Night Live skit with the
Right.
cheerleaders. That's what
Yeah,
me and
yeah.
Janet, we feel like that's what we do. A good bit we stand on the sidelines, go, 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 go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we get a little more in depth. We put them in there and hook them up with people who's been there and done that and willing to share their
Yeah.
experience. And Just make sure they don't go through the trial and tribulations that they went through. Which
Right.
any new business, anytime you start something new, even if it's starting out in a competition world or whatever, you got to learn. There's a learning curve, and what we want to do is try to cut that curve in half so it's not a bumpy road as what some of us went through. So
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, we were blown away when we went to the NBBQA event last year. The network alone, and how it didn't matter if they were the biggest name or the smallest name. Everybody, there's open book. Whatever you needed. Like, I guess it's just like the folks that know the NBBQA love the NBBQA, and the folks that don't love it just don't know it yet. You know what I mean? Like, it's just awesome.
Yep, and that's where we failed at. So, going forward, that'll be our deal, is to make sure we take that banner and get it out to everybody.
Yep.
And instead of just inviting the good old boys to be a part of it.
Spread the word. It sounds like it's growing. Just how you described that event compared to the one we went to last year. It sounds like there's a lot more going to be going on.
Yeah, we're going to definitely try, man. We've seen enough of what not to do. We're going to try to make what we've seen work and go to that pattern and just keep going that way so it works.
Nice.
I love it.
I'm jealous that I didn't make it. Like, I hear these guys talk about it all the time and how great it was and how much fun they had. And
Hey, don't worry, James is jealous too.
Yeah.
they just rub it in our face all the time.
I take my jealousy and I just bury it deep with all the other stuff that I'm burying, so it's fine.
I'm sure that's healthy.
Right.
It's fine.
Right. Like I say, it's like, hey, everybody, hey, warm welcome. Thank you so much, Kell, for obviously having us here, but thank you so much for everything that you do. We appreciate you being here.
Yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
shoot, man. Thank you guys for allowing us to do it, man. It's what we do, man. It don't
Spread the
matter
news.
who's been there and done that, man. We want to take their hand and show them what our neighborhood's all about. So
Love
I
that.
love it.
If folks want to
Absolutely.
find out more about the NBBQA Barbecue News Magazine, where do they go?
yeah, so MBBQA is National Barbecue and Grilling Association. You can find more about it at mbbqa.org. And then the magazine, Barbecue News Magazine, is barbecuenews.com. It's spelled out BARBECUE.
Correctly,
NEWS.
right.
Yeah, well, we looked it up in the dictionary, and that's what they told us to go with. So.
Right. I love. Hey, go check it out, folks.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
Dude, that was awesome.
Great.